watching, the watcher's watching me. Cameras spinning, eyes, no place to be free. High towers whisper to the ground below. Promises broken where the taxes grow. C.S.I. watchdogs sniff the trail. Follow the lies where the big dogs fail. Truth uncovered, corruption's face. Tear down the mask in the shadow place. Tear down the mask in the shadow place.
Window seat. Oh, snap. Go back and stare at Richard. Y'all get to look out the window, I'm staring at Richard. No offense.
Glare can be bright at times, so,
Well, I mean,
and I have a light hits my forehead.
Yeah. Well, we don't evidently deserve light, Richard, always.
We're afraid to look out though, because our drill sergeant will.
Oh, I guarantee you, it's not.
It was clear.
Don't want to sit out, just
Yeah.
escape.
At least we have a police way, we got a.
Last year, we did that traffic.
Is that you, Val, that sent me that?
There we go.
Okay, and I hope I didn't go,
Melissa uses Canva.
I do use Canva, it has pretty things, and if you notice, this matches the color in your stationery and the color in your business cards.
I was hoping it would.
It does, yeah, see? I just want other people to appreciate the thought that went into
And your
eyes,
Thank you.
Thank you. But this is kind of what I went through, and we can go over different things. If you want to fast forward through things, y'all just tell me, because sometimes I get a little bit
No, we've got till 11.
way
so-
too
Yeah, we got that.
into things.
How late y'all want to leave this one?
Oh.
Yes.
Wanna get
Before
out
we
before
slide
12?
off the mountain.
That's it.
Yeah. So the theme I went with is reset, refocus, and renew, and moving the Catoosa County Clerk's Office forward. And the purpose of this reset, to ensure the clerk's office is operating as efficiently and effectively as possible. The county's growing, evolving, things are switching to more technology platforms, other different things that we've put in place. So I just kind of took a second, stood back, and want to make sure that our processes, structure, and resources are aligned to meet not only the current trends and demands of the office, but also for the future. So I took time identifying some of the challenges I see. I'm going to talk about streamlining our workflows, establishing clear expectations for accountability and high performance, and just with your help, we can enhance the level of service provided to the board and the citizens of the county. So, here are, in my opinion, as your clerk, some of the challenges we currently have in the clerk's office. And really not just the clerk's office, it kind of goes across, because in doing this, I've started looking into all of the boards managed by y'all and looking at their minutes and looking at their agendas, and so it covers those aspects as well. Legacy inconsistencies, no unified standard agenda, minutes, or notice procedures. The public access for the county website, in my opinion, is difficult to navigate, and we hear that from citizens as well. There's a lack of documented procedures and policies as far as how we handle certain things. Case in point, the issues at planning and zoning. When we lost almost everyone in that office, the new people came in and they didn't really know, well, I don't know how they did this. We don't know how, if you had had some documented procedures, SOPs for that office, it would still be difficult, but it'd be easier for someone coming in to say, okay, here's how you do this, 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 and this. So, and now let's talk about legacy inconsistencies. This is the way we've always done it. This is the way they did it. This is what we do. So I would like to kind of see us move away from those inconsistencies, because I think they bottleneck a workflow. because everybody's using, like, planning and zoning may do it this way, we may do it this way, and they may do it that way. And when you ask, well, why do you do it that way versus this way, that's because that's just the way we've always done it. That's the way they did it back then, and now that's the way we do it this way. And to me, that you have an increased error risk. It's not quite as transparent because we can't really tell you why we do it that way. There's no documented procedure for it. It limits continuity moving forward, and it's frustrating and confusing for people, new people coming in. The way I see we can address some of that, standardizing processes. So establish one clear, consistent approach and apply it across the clerk's office. So this is the way, here is the SOPs. I've got some sample SOPs I did for the clerk's office alone that say, this is how we do. This is when this is posted. This is where it's posted. This is the steps you take. This is, it just kind of lines it out. So there's no question for anyone. And if I'm gone, if Candy's gone, if it's a whole new clerk in there, they can walk in, pull those SOPs, and okay, this is how we do it. Document procedures. So clear written procedures for minutes, which we'll get further into some of these. I'd like to see a standardized minute format across the board for all your county boards. This is what you use. I mean, because it, in my opinion, it should be, and from my training and law requirements regarding minutes, I put in there what the auditors need to see. There's certain ways the motion needs to be done. There's certain legal requirements. And in looking at some of the other boards' minutes, they are not that way. Some of them aren't even close to what they need to be.
How many different departments do we actually have? Which I know planning and zoning
They have
oversees
two.
a lot of it. I mean, or not, like, well, the department. I know they have the alcohol and I guess
They have
the
that.
board meeting,
Yeah, planning commission, the alcohol board, the board of assessors, and then you have
Board of Elections.
board of elections. I know that those positions aren't appointed by you, but it is a board that's under,
Our, we
You
should
control
have
their-
You do control the budget, things like that.
so to me, the minutes should be still
Unified.
under this standardized format. And they
Still
shouldn't be
responsible.
taken by someone that's not an employee of the county.
What about like the library board?
Yeah, I have a question about the library board. They do appoint every member to the library board of trustees.
Yes.
So should those minutes not?
Oh, it's really.
Well, you'll be able
Shucks and he'll take it.
to.
Would you like to take?
You just got volunteered, didn't you?
Well, one of the things we did last year that was a great thing is we talked about we want, and so it started with planning and zoning, and planning and zoning now meets in our room. It's televised, people can go back and view the meeting, and I know that's, we said we want to do that with all the boards, and so we need to continue that momentum. We need to have every board meet in our room. It's on Granicus, it's on there, people can go back. I was doing interviews this week for the alcohol board, and for whatever reason, we had more people apply for that board than any other board we've ever ran, right?
Did you tell them they was free drinks?
But I think
I'm trying to figure it out.
I was trying to figure it out also, but I think part of the issue is they really didn't have any basis to go. If they were able to pull up an alcohol board and watch a previous meeting, they would have seen what that entails, and I think a lot of them would have understood the assignment and probably wouldn't have applied because they would have seen that and said, okay, I have a different perception of really what that really was. Because it's not. I mean, you sit in on them, Chris, and you're there like the other boards. And so if we get them all to meet and we get them all in Granicus, one, it's a transparency thing that we all agree needs to happen. And two, when we do have these board appointments, they can actually do a little homework and go back and look and see what the board does. They can have a better understanding because, it
Like John
was
shared.
incredible the amount of response we got. Alcohol board.
Yeah.
But every one of them are like, well, I tried to research and see what that entailed. I couldn't
Know
really
where to
find
get-
anything. I could see kind of what they do, but exactly. So how are we gonna do, we just need a plan of action to get
Yeah, 'cause
this done.
Yeah, I think, Melissa, if we standardize our minutes and everybody has a platform to go, and then once they're done, just go ahead and put them on Granicus.
Well, I would like, it's gonna get further into that, but we
Okay.
can go ahead, we can jump around.
Well, you got an
I
EPA, you
Would
got a
like
PFA,
to
Yeah.
see all of your
which
county.
mimic the county.
Yes.
Yes.
Megan's are the only one that I've looked at. Kudos to Megan, who must have pulled a shell of one of the board minutes and they follow the same format.
Which makes sense.
Well, because
So-
the auditors pull my minutes every year,
Mhm.
multiple times.
And that's the thing, I think, and some of these boards, the auditors may not pull certain things of theirs, but it should still be consistency across the board is more transparent. It's less of a risk of an error or something being missed, a deadline being missed, that it's just better. And we're at that point.
You just have to set
Now.
the standard,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then it's just, here it is. I mean, it's not an option, this is it.
This is what.
I
you're
would
going
This
like-
is the standard.
The clerk's office, depending on
Sure.
how the board feels.
Yeah.
To be the central source for that.
I agree.
We go to training. I go to training. I live and breathe minutes. I understand that a new person at planning and zoning who's hired to process building permits and things, they don't know all of the things that I know about proper minutes, what's legally required, what people are gonna look for, and how important minutes are. Minutes have been around since the very first government or Rome back in the day. It would have been called your historian, the person who kept the historic record.
But I think if they're happening in our room and
Yes,
they're recorded, then if there's something that they put in the minutes that you say, well, something's missing here, at least you've got something to go back and see actually what happened.
yes.
And I mean,
I think either we can have, between Candy and I, split up who's handling which meetings and, because if the issue kind of with both of us is at like the board meetings, I've always said we do need both, this and that, because it's hard if you're not doing it all the time to know how to use the Granicus system, to start and stop and to put the information in there. But if it goes this way and that's how the board chooses to do it, we can kind of split out those boards. We're both using it. It's seamless depending on, one of us could step into any of them, be the clerk there and do the minutes. Or we can do them if they're live streaming from the recording. I can do it that way.
Well,
Either way.
also, I think to that, like the alcohol board meets at 8 in the morning, right? In other words, they meet during your business hours. I don't know about the board of assessors. I have a feeling
They
it's
meet in the
probably a
morning.
daytime thing. If we could transition all of them, except obviously, the ones like planning and zoning needs to be in the evening. I agree with that because citizens go, but if it's on Granicus, they can watch anyway. But if they're there during those hours, it makes it easier for a clerk to be there and just do the minutes, right?
Yes.
And then we know it's just done and it's done right. And we know it's going on Granicus right. We know it's being recorded right. I think a lot of boards are already scheduled during those times.
Right.
They're just easy.
Board of Elections at 4 o'clock. I
Right.
feel like they would welcome, I mean, if
Mhm.
somebody wanted to jump in and take minutes, I mean, I don't think that would be.
And they're one of the
Sure.
ones, in looking like even the planning commission minutes, when they have ordinances that they vote or they have executive sessions, I sat here during Rachel's thing and clicked through every one of their agendas. The only thing on their agendas are the zoning cases for that meeting. That's not,
They don't have executive session.
They
they
do
don't
not.
have
They
executive,
do.
okay.
Yeah, so I knew
Um,
that was.
Yes, they could, if they wanted one, but they've never, as far as long as I've
Yeah,
been doing it.
I've
they've
never seen them do that.
Okay.
Generally, they only handle zoning cases that are on there, or if there's some public, they're the vessel to have public comment on proposed amendments to the UDC.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And shouldn't their motion, like I've noticed on some of theirs where they're approving the rezoning case, it's approving it as a recommendation to the Board of
So
Commissioners.
that's all they have, that's all they have to do,
Okay.
except for variance.
But it doesn't read that way in the minutes. So if I were someone coming in and I'm gonna come and argue with y'all because no, I had it rezoned,
Right,
look in these planning commission minutes, it said the rezone was approved. And then you tell me, well, no, that's just a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. That's not the way that record reads.
And you're probably gonna find that in most places you go, but
Is it-
technically you were right, yes. Right.
And it may be that way. Other
Yeah,
counties we
it's
could
in
look
their
at, they're gonna have
application
these
and
same
everything.
issues, but
It's all
I would
over
rather
everything
see us
else's
set a standard.
recommendation.
I'd like to see you set a calendar and say, here's all the boards, and this is, we're gonna work on this board transition in this month, or whatever y'all decide as a clerk's office, where y'all could take that on and notify them ahead of time. I mean, you know, some of them only meet quarterly, some of them are meeting less than that, some of them are meeting monthly. But I think you two should get here's what we're gonna attack. This month is, the next month it's this board, and by 6 months from now, or 7, whatever it is, we've got all the boards in compliance, they're all doing that, and then we're good. I think that'd be a good plan of attack, or something similar to that, if everybody else thinks that's.
Yeah, I think-
I think, and interrupt, but I think that gives us a little shelter too, because if something's being done that's.
It falls on us.
Yeah, we're the ones gonna get the call, and then Melissa could be able to say, or Candy go, hey, they're getting ready to do this, and you know, they're about to bring a
Yes.
liquor store by the church or something.
That was
you know.
my next thing
And
to
you'll
tell you.
Yeah.
you'll also be able to go to Granicus
Mhm.
and
Watch
pull
the
up,
video.
or pull up the minutes.
Yes.
Do
Or
a
they
key,
can
do a
actually see it.
keyword and pull up the
Yeah.
minutes. If you're at home and you get a call, then you'll be able to get an answer rather quickly.
And that's my thing, is if we're paying for this grant, because and paying good money, we need to be using it to all extremes we can.
Yes.
And getting our money's worth out of it.
I agree.
Is there any board that does it, that we don't have jurisdiction over, that could say, well, we really don't wanna do it that way?
The library board's gonna say so. But ultimately, we appoint all the people, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it's kind of a quasi board,
It's
you get
with
state funding.
involved.
Right. So they actually have their own personnel policy, things like that.
But their board could, and Chuck, you're on that board, obviously, their board, you know, talk about explaining the whole thing. I think with a proper explanation, I don't see how level heads wouldn't prevail to see the transparency in that, and why that would be
Obviously,
a
you've
problem.
never been in the library.
I haven't been in a library board meeting, I have not.
Would it be up with the director or the board to make that decision of the library? It would be
I mean, the director serves.
So they could say, if we're gonna start having them at the commission office and.
Okay.
Sure.
And do it.
So that's the only one we see that we couldn't, you know, just say, hey, this is the way it's gonna be. They have to accept it as board. Okay.
And I think if y'all give me the authority, I would go and talk even with that one, with Sarah, the department head or whoever sees that board,
Probably better talk
and
to the
explain, hey,
board.
this is not taking anything away from
No.
you, your board, or anything. It's just streamlining it's gonna make it easier for you.
Sure.
And it's gonna ensure that you're meeting you're posting your notice deadlines, posting
Transparency.
your you know, that everything's being met.
Well, it protects them too.
Yes, it does.
They should see it that
Because
way.
that's not their,
They
that
should.
may not be their expertise.
Right.
No, takes a little bit off of them, I would think. I would think it just makes it easy.
Yeah, now on that board, they'll probably talk about coming to the commission, but even if we could just get a half win and have one of the clerks go there, that'd be huge.
Well, that's, I was gonna say, like the library board, the health department board, all those, you got people that are working right up to that moment, then step over in there,
Yeah.
and they're still there to answer a question, you know.
Which would be fine. There'll be certain ones that maybe we have in our room that are live streamed, and like those, we would go there and
For the citizens.
sit through it, take their minutes.
Pull the
and-
minutes if they
There you
had
go.
to.
They're still,
Yeah.
I mean, they're open to the public,
That's
they're
the main
advertising.
key,
they're open
getting
to
the
public.
minutes.
It's
Yeah.
just I
Unified.
think you look at the amount of interest and the amount of impact on the average citizen. I think that's in correlation to the interest, you know. If it doesn't impact me, I'm not gonna bother going and listening to them, but they're all open to the public, but seldom ever, there's
Yes.
never been, since I've
And
been
I'll
there.
say to the library board, I looked at Sarah's, they, you know, maintain their own website. She does seem to post her notices and according to on time, and they're there and they're easy accessible. But if we're going to go to this standardized, then it would be something I would want to include them on.
Like,
Yeah,
having
well,
that
if they want,
standardized
they need to do it.
I like hers being different. Do they need to be advertised, or are they on our website
Any
also?
meeting
Yeah.
that's under y'all, and if you, according to the new Georgia Open, it's not new, it was in 2012, Georgia Open Records Open Meetings Act. Any committee, board, or commission that y'all establish as the governing authority must follow the Georgia Open Meetings Act,
Yes.
which means they must post their meeting notice
But I mean-
24 hours in advance.
Yeah.
All of
But
that.
are they just Are they doing that on their side, or are they doing it on our side?
They're
And-
doing it, it's linked, so if you went to Catoosa.com and you clicked on departments and went to the library, it'll take you to their page where their minutes and notices are. But it's
That
not,
makes it legal
yeah.
for us.
Mhm. Yeah, but that we'll get further into the website on here, but that's one of the things I wanna talk about on navigation issues with the website. Cause you'd have to know to go to look there, well, the library board is not listed on here. Well, no, it's not listed on county boards, it's listed on theirs or on their website. So, which we can get into that. Okay, let's see, move on. Then I'm going into the lack of standardized procedures. So just like we talked about, different boards and commissions follow different processes, missed deadlines, legal infractions. And people rely on individual knowledge instead of written guidance. Which means sometimes when a staff member leaves or walks out the door, so does all the knowledge and history of that board with them, which is an issue. And then goes to difficulty ensuring continuity during staff and board transition. So we kind of covered most of that. There's what I'd like to see, written procedures for agenda prep and posting, meeting minutes, the approval process. I know it recently came up about the alcohol board not getting their minutes till they were sitting at the thing and they hadn't had a chance to look over them. So if we had a written procedure that says the minutes have to be sent to the board members by this time, no later than this date, and then they're not, then that's something you can go back and hold someone accountable to. Because right now, there's no real written procedure on it. So, meeting recordings, live streaming, and let's see, and then, state law establishes those requirements, but local procedures determine how consistently those requirements are met. So, let's see. So kind of went through all of that, and there's where I say it doesn't eliminate board flexibility or dictate policy outcomes or decisions for those boards or limit their governance authority. Just provides clarity for staff, boards, and the public, and improves that continuity and make sure that we're compliant with statutory guidelines. So, this is kind of repetitive. It's the same thing we've talked about undocumented policies and procedures, how we rely on practice rather than proof. In a clerk's office, things aren't shouldn't be left up to perception. There should be no gray areas. It's black and white. This has to be posted by this date. There's no black and white areas. These are some of the recommended policies and procedures I'd like to see. The agenda policy, meeting minutes policy, records retention, which we kind of already have some of that, but something that if you came in and you didn't know and now you're running animal control, here's the records retention policy that tells you how long you have to keep your animal intake forms and information like that without having to look it up. Just something you can hand that they have on the office or on their desktop to look at. The open records request policy, now that we have the new open records software, it's running very well. Very impressed with departments responding and all of that. But I would like to see a written policy that says if you don't answer your request within the 7 days or the amount of time you have, that we can hold someone accountable to that.
I like it.
That
You don't wait
to
more
that
than
department head and say, hey, your staff member, it's taken them 15 days to respond to this. They've not responded to us and we've reached out. Here's the open records policy. Your department is supposed to respond within so and so many days.
It'd be nice if you could address something there, because once you respond, you kind of just wing it on how to get done. So it'd be nice to give them a timeline of actually completing the process. So is that not how it goes? They have to respond and then they can say their gather.
Well, with our
and drag
new
and
system, as soon as you submit an open records request, you get an immediate response from the system that says Catoosa County's received your request. blah, blah, blah. But then we need to let them know within so many days, how long is it gonna take this long for us to get your stuff together? Here's an
The next
estimated
step.
cost. Yes, so within 73 days, business days, the department that's been assigned to needs to let us know, send through the system, hey, I'm working on this, it's gonna take this much time, or
The 3
whatever.
days, do they let you know and then you send something to them, or
Mhm.
like if
They
there's a call
can,
or
through the
anything?
system, send an email directly to them, which we can see. Like Rhonda does that sometimes when she needs clarification, but
The only thing I guess I would see is if different people's, if you got 8 different people sending that 3-day notice to the people, do they put the right cost in and know how to figure it, or does it need to come back to y'all
Most
and
of
y'all
them-
send the,
I met with the planning and zoning office, I went to their office and went through with their staff members that get assigned the request and explained to them, there's a note section. I think a lot of people are getting confused with a note versus a message. The message will go directly to the requester, but there's a portion there that's called notes. So that's where they need to put at Melissa or at Candy and say, hey, this is gonna take so and so long and I estimate it'll cost this. And then it'll come to us and then we can send the message to the requester.
yeah, and that's why
So
I said,
that
I
would
think
kind of be
everything
included in that
would
policy.
be better coming to y'all to make sure,
Yes,
The clerk's office is still the clearinghouse.
yeah,
yes.
and then that way it's unified. Cause if you get 8 different people sending it to
The
people
requester's
wherever they go,
confused
I mean,
and, yes. And
our
we had,
salaries and all that stuff, where you gotta figure if it's a lot of things.
we had some departments going ahead and closing requests after they upload their documents at first.
And the people,
Which I still need to go back and finish through, because I spent days going through the requests that have been closed, making sure that the uploaded attachments had been sent to, the access had been changed to the customer and they weren't still internal and different things. We've kind of worked through a lot of that, so it's getting better, but I wish I had a policy in place just to hand off to the departments or email to them, and, or maybe even have like a class at admin that shows,
yeah.
A lot to
Hey,
learn.
and then new employees as they come in, if John recorded it, you can send them, you need to watch this. This is a procedures for,
I think
Responding
that'd be
through
the best,
GovQA.
to do a lunch and learn or something, then they can't say, well, that's not what you said, or everybody hears the same thing.
As far as redacting, you know, that's probably one of the most important. Did y'all do all of that?
yes, we do the redact, yes. And it does it through the system. We go in and use the new GovQA system to redact, but Candy and I are the only ones that have the access for redaction.
Yeah.
So, and it is, I will say that it has been a really, Rhonda was my most stubborn when it came to the new software. She kind of dug in and she wasn't happy about it. She didn't like change. She didn't want it. And she has since called me and told me, I'm sorry. I love this system. It's working so much better. And her requests were some of the ones we had the biggest issues with. We would have to constantly hound her about getting them and not meeting the deadline and this and that. I mean, now, Rhonda, most people who file an open records request with 911 get it that by that afternoon. So she's doing, it's working very well. There's still hiccups, but it's working very well. So open records, I'd also like to have a piece with the open records where we include that on any new employees onboarding as a new hire, that they understand you're now a county government employee. We have to follow the Georgia Open Records Act. So if you're using your personal phone and texting someone about county government business and my office receives an open record for it, you have to give me that. Just to, caution them, because I think a lot of employees, they don't understand that. They don't understand if they write notes on this piece of paper, you've created an open record. So I think that would be something that we need to make sure is emphasized to new employees. Because if you've worked outside of here, you don't realize that, everything you do now is considered an open
That
record
could
in
just
a
be
business.
an added piece of HR when they do orientation.
Yes. And then we kind of talked about boards and commission support. a county website policy where it says if you need to refresh and check your content on your page as the department head, here are the guidelines that need to be followed for stuff that's posted on your page. Here's how we need it. We need to be updated about employment changes when someone leaves so we can update the website. Because in looking at some of that on some of the departments pages that I went through, there's a lot of outdated information there. Like there was a 2000 and something rabies clinic notice on one of it. It's like,
Yeah, ours
sometimes I'll catch those,
Ours
but
wasn't the best designed. Well,
Yeah, well,
and like I say, you gotta keep it updated.
and our departments and our directors need to periodically go to their page,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
or pages and go through it, right?
Yeah.
And work with the clerk's office or work with John or whoever needs to help to get it up to date.
I had,
Yes.
Because I know like animal control, you've done a lot of work on that since Dylan's moved over there. Just getting it up to date.
I had a high record citizen Wednesday. He was irritated because he went to our, I guess, went to our site and then said the courthouse was open. This was Monday. He gets to the courthouse to about probating and he said it's locked up tighter as could be and couldn't get nothing but it.
The courthouse is closed?
Yeah, apparently there's a court order, I think.
Yeah, they closed.
and that was posted on the page in front. I saw John posted it on there on the website.
Well, but
Based on the
yeah,
government's.
But it's on the
governor's state
government
of
work.
emergency.
Yeah.
Did the snow
Yeah.
plows not go?
but he said it showed wherever he went to, it showed the courthouse was open that day.
Huh.
So,
It's too cold.
I don't
So I
know.
don't
I'll have
know.
to look at it. Yeah, because it was on that news section. John posted it. Tracy sent me that on Saturday, I guess it was when Brian did, and I sent it to John. And I know he put it also on the email thing, which we need to push that to people, is sign up for the email notifications. Because I got the email. Every time John updated a closing or a delayed opening, I got an email from the county on my personal one where I've signed up to make sure it works that says, hey, update to winter weather, and there's John's article with the information. So that's something I think we need to push more is, hey, go on there and sign
And I
up for
like
those
how he did it, he
notifications.
kept it on the same
Yes.
document and just kept
It was
adding
being
an
updated.
update to the top.
Mhm.
I was wondering how he was gonna work that out, but I thought that was good.
Yeah, and I'd like for John to get more involved with the website. Because when we get into the website, the changes I think that need to be made, I think John has the right background and from being in the news to know the best way that we can reframe it for outside people to navigate it.
He
So.
would love to have.
Okay, and then delegation and continuity policy between deputy clerk and the county clerk and different responsibilities. All right, so there we talked about how I'd like for us to be a central resource for the website administration, meeting administration. We are the official records custodian, and then the guidance or people, the office that handles boards, commissions, committees, staff process on compliance for meetings, which we've kind of all gone over that. All right, public access challenges navigating the website. And I think both of these are very true. The county website's often the first and sometimes only point of contact with the public. We don't see a lot of our citizens, but they do see our website. So their impression of us as a county government is what we have on the website. So I think it's very important that it's done well, it's up to date, it's dynamic. Because public trust, transparency, and efficiency are directly tied to how easily our residents can find information. The residents use the website, they're looking for forms, agenda, minutes, open records, county ordinances, contact information, they're looking for meeting dates. And most people nowadays access that information not from a desktop, they're looking on their cell phone or their tablet. So everything needs to be able to convert and be viewable on a mobile device. So the difference in transparency and accessibility, the information may be on there, but it's not intuitive to find. It's hard for people to navigate and find. Which legal compliance does not always equal public usability. Transparency requires clarity and not just volume. So here's some of the common public access and navigation challenges that I hear about from where I'm at when people ask me about the website. The information is hard to locate or very too hard. The navigation labels are unclear or they're internally focused, which means our website's department-based navigation instead of service-based navigation. Well, some people outside of, if I didn't work for the government, I'm not gonna know that this department handles that. I'm just gonna be looking for this. So I think we've gotta look at it from that outside the box thing. And right now, you have to know what department, like if you wanna file an open records request, you gotta know that the county clerk handles open records requests, because you gotta go to the county clerk's page, and then you gotta go over here and you'll see open records requests on the left side to file an open records request. To me, if I didn't know who handled them, I wouldn't know where even to start.
Well, I think some
So-
websites use keyword searches, right?
Yes,
When you typed in that keyword, it would tell you to go to this department. And unfortunately, we just don't have that
Yeah.
availability
We
yet.
need
But
to-
keywords would be where they could type that in, and it would say open records request, it would say that's the clerk, or this, and it would say that's this department, right? You know?
yes.
Yeah, where do I go for a building permit, or, you know, septic tank permit, and it would just arrive.
That's my thing was on this, how do we fix this? I mean, like you're saying, is it something we can do or enhance it and make it?
Or do we have to go with a whole different provider, and then
We
that starts
actually,
costing a
we
lot of money?
actually do have a search bar. I just used it, and it went to,
Did it go to? Good.
is that the form?
Click that. Is this might be our issue? Yeah. It's
Yeah,
yes,
I
I
think-
want to go QA. Okay, good. Sometimes
Yeah,
though,
So
it
that's a good
goes
idea,
to
Richard. I mean, yeah,
whole pages.
keywords, but still, not everybody's gonna know to use keywords.
Maybe we need to
And they
put
may
something
not put
under
it
there,
on
instead of
the front
search, put
page
in,
or
type in keyword.
Well, what I'd like us to do is the website, we went with Granicus, it's been, what, 6-7 years now?
Before I came.
And at that time, they did heat mapping on our site to see on the old site where was the most traffic going to. I think we need to
Research.
do that again and see what are the 10 most accessed places people are going on our website.
I think that'd be
And-
the best thing to do.
Yes, and then determine, because I really think open records should be a button right there on the front page. And then I think when we move to this with another one that I think is horrible to navigate to is our board of commission meetings, the agendas,
there.
and the live meetings. There's 4 different places
Yeah,
you
they
can go
did.
to before you find it.
Terrible job. I mean, they're not a designer.
So I think we need to have that right there. And it doesn't just say BOC meetings and agendas. I think it should say board meetings,
Should
and
be
you
board
click
meetings,
there.
And then you get a drop down.
And then you
Yes,
go there.
and then you go to
Right.
that page where you
Alcohol
see the
board or
boards and
whatever.
you can click and you see their video, their meeting agenda, and their minutes, all right there in one central location. Instead of having to go all these different places.
Or if he make you a list of things like we're talking about, drop down tabs, maybe you just need to reset with them and have them check it off and then give them suggestions of what we need to
Do
do.
they have anything figured in for upgrades and things? I mean, I know we pay them a substantial amount of money.
They do some, but they do also like to charge you anytime you really want to change something. But I think I've kind of dove into it more, and I'm a more hands-on person. So trying different things and seeing what it does when I publish it and then unpublishing it and going back through. There's things that I think we could do internally to change without having to have Granicus charge us to add another button to the home screen, which is what I would like to try at first.
So we have access to get in to rearrange.
Yes. I can, like those 5 buttons when you go to the home tab that are right down there, it says RFQs and order, I don't remember what all of them are. We can change what those are. I don't think I can add a 6th or a 7th button. But I do think we need to change,
Change
What's
those
there?
five buttons, what's
Mhm.
on those.
and there's a spotlight section in the middle that has y'all's picture, and it drives me crazy because it displays wrong on a mobile device. We've never really utilized the spotlight section, but I think we should. So if there's something that John's got going on, or there's something we want to stand out, it needs to be there. So that's right in the center, and it changes and it updates. So, oh, there's something new there now. It just draws your attention to it.
Do you
I think it'd
think
be-
departments would keep theirs updated if they could go in and,
I think some of them would, I think some of them would not. Or some of them would get it
cause
a
I
little
think
bit boggled.
if they're told, say by Dan, but here, you need to, every 30 days, you need to upgrade your page or something, I think that maybe could help to make our site better where
Mhm.
somebody's not looking at something that's been there for 4 years.
Well, and I think John's a untapped resource for the website and doing that. Like maybe working with a department head. Hey, look,
Yeah.
your page is drab, it's not updated. Here's what I think we can do to make your page flow better with the current information and how, and then he can bring it to me and Candy and we can design the page that way.
When you say, a minute ago, you said the heat map, I mean,
Mhm.
I guess that's like the impressions, don't you?
Yes.
Show us the impressions on how many people's coming to
Yes.
each page.
And what are they
they're
clicking
looking-
on the most? What are they
Yeah,
looking
it's
at
your
the
hot
most?
topic.
Yes.
Cause I know Clint at the Planning and Zoning Permit Office, they're trying to make it where you can do most everything online,
Mhm.
right? So you could fill out the forms, which would be tremendous to us, because a lot of things that we get is unlegible
Mhm.
when you start
Yes.
trying to decipher what.
Well, never even about the builder's mate, I'll never say that for now.
we-
And see, that's an
How am I gonna
event.
stay on top of
That
their
could have
desk?
been
if I
added
don't
to
go
a calendar on the website, and anybody who has subscribed to email notifications would have got, hey, that you would have got an email like John's weather updates that says there's a builders meeting being held at blah, 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 blah. We have all that, we've got to start using it. We have to use it and utilize it.
And we use about 30% of what
Mhm.
that system came from.
Yes. And then, of course, there's the new ADA compliance things with forms and different things on your website, which we have to be really careful with PDFs versus an image file. You have to make sure that whatever that is if someone is ADA compliant and they have to hover over it, that it's going to tell them what is there, read it out loud, or however it does it the other way, so that it's ADA compliant. Like Florida, it's probably been a couple of years ago that I know they got hit really heavy with lawsuits about government websites and forms not being ADA compliant, and it's moving this way now. So that's something we really have to kind of get under. So, okay, sorry, I'm going off, and that's kind of what I said. Identify the most access standards, phase improvements over time, review navigation from a resident's perspective. And it could be, we put something out there that says on Facebook, hey, tell us what you have trouble with when you go to the county website. What improvements would you like to see on the county's website? Just involve the citizens in helping us make this, because a website that works for the people, not one the public has to work around.
Well, and, going back on what Richard said a minute ago about keywords, a lot of times, it's the world we live in, right?
Mhm.
Yes, we take it for
They
granted.
may not know what keyword to put in there.
No, because like
Right.
even with open records, we call it an open record. Do you know
They
how many
call it
times I
freedom
get a FOIA?
Yeah.
Or a GORA?
Yeah.
That's how a lot of
Federal or
people call it.
state, yeah.
Yes, and it's like, okay, so if
We
they
know what they're
don't,
talking about, but
they might be typing it GORA
Yeah.
on there and it's not pull it,
That's a good
so, yeah. All right, and then we can just briefly talk about, I'd just like to stress clarifying the different roles between the county clerk and deputy clerk. I am appointed by the board. I'm accountable to the board. I serve at the pleasure of the board, and I hate saying it, but if three of y'all decide that you wanna bring in someone else as your county clerk at the next meeting, add it to the agenda, and I better bring a box and go home that night. That's the way my job works. So I work for
Is
you
that the way my
directly.
job works too?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is. You're
Y'all got something in common.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
appointed employees are me, Dan, and the attorney's office. So,
We got two people with me right here.
Y'all can't vote on anything right now.
You know, we can't make decisions.
and
We're good with two.
I am your liaison between different things. So don't ever feel like, oh, you can't ask me to do this for you, do that for you. I am kind of your go-between. And sometimes that's a security and safety net for you as a board. That's what my position is.
Just looking in the past, though, county related. I mean, you're not our personal,
Oh, no,
So
no,
don't
no.
go
I
pick up
mean,
your dry cleaning.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
no.
oh, yeah,
I probably would if you asked me, but
yeah.
no.
No, yeah, because it's not fair to y'all. I know some things that's happened
I know, I totally
in the
agree.
years
I
past.
offered to
but-
wash the payroll lady's hair and fix it for her one time.
Well, that's where we would fit. If it no, that's you know your duties and your boundaries, and I would hope that you obviously would know that if somebody asked you to do something outside of
Yes.
your scope of county business, that you would not.
I would.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, and I trust that. That's why I've never had to bring that up. But yes,
Mhm. Yes, I most definitely do, and
your
I take
boundaries.
being your county clerk very serious. I've been a county clerk for however many years now,
21 or
And-
22.
22 years.
22.
Totally. This is I do hope, unless I die while I'm here or,
Rachel, you're riding
I
on
get
weather, so that's on you
fired.
too, right?
this is my legacy. I do plan to retire from the county government, and I hope to, when I do, that I have left the county clerk's office in a better state than it was when I came in, and I have set things up that properly prepare the next county clerk who comes in to have a much easier and more seamless integration into being the clerk for the county than what I had. That is my legacy, so to be. I know it's kind of cheesy, but I take it very seriously, so.
No, we appreciate that. I can speak for me, and I know I'm not alone. I mean, we appreciate all you do for us. The only thing with you is, you just have to push. You're one person that you have underneath you, the deputy clerk. You've just got to make sure you're getting the most out of that position that you can. And I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying that's your key responsibility, right? Is to make sure not only you're doing your stuff, which we know you do, but you're getting the most out of that position. And
Yes.
that's why we put more on you, but we understand that you can handle it. So we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And that's kind of what I'm going into. So the deputy clerk, of course, is hired by the clerk. She's an hourly employee. She provides operational administrative support to me, performs assigned duties within established priorities and processes, supports the administrative functions, communicates with the board through the clerk, not independently. Now, I know if a phone call comes in from a citizen, Candy sends it out to y'all. Where sometimes I have seen some issues is if, I know maybe a group text went out, I'm not gonna be able to be here. I was not included on that group text. If I am managing that office and I'm the head of it, I need to be included. Even if I'm not there, that's my job, that's why I'm hourly. Include me, so I know, because if I don't know, I
By your
can't.
salary and all that.
Yeah,
Well, that's
what
a
I
chain
meant
of
to say.
command. That goes
Yes.
back to everybody in business understands chain of command. I mean, I've made, a wrong turn there once or twice, right? And like, well, that needs to go back through Dan. So, I mean, it
Yes.
can happen every now and then, but I understand that Candy is your subordinate, and if I need, yes, that you should be in the loop.
And
I agree.
the only thing I'm asking of y'all today is if you get a message asking if, I don't know, can I leave early, or are we gonna close early because of this, or are we gonna do that?
That's-
Reroute it through me. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, I don't know, reach out to Melissa, because some of my own fault, but some lines have gotten blurred. And it makes it very difficult if I have to discuss some issues or try to, if say someone has, well, I'll just call so-and-so and they'll take care of it for me. And which I've created, I know, it's some of that, but I am coming back into where I'm at. I had a rough 5 or 6 years personally, which some of y'all know about, but, which is still, that hasn't fixed itself, but I have grown. I am back where I need to be, and I'm trying to control everything back in. I can't effectively manage the office if the roles are not and the chain of command's not followed.
I agree.
And it would be better for me, and maybe not at first, it won't be seen that way, but it'll be better for
Well, that's just
the deputy clerk
I
and
get
us
that.
working together.
Like Charlie and I see the least of you because we gave our office up to Scott, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I can appreciate it.
That's just kind of more of that. I think I've gone through everything. Chain of command, board of commissioners, county clerk, deputy clerk. The board provides policy, direction, oversight. I manage the operations and staff. Deputy clerk receives direction through the clerk. I'm working on some updated job descriptions because when the position was first created, Stephen will remember, when Alicia was here, it was totally phased in to be part PIO, which is we now have John, and all of that changed, and we've kind of evolved into where we are. So I think looking back now, some of those roles and assignments and things are not spelled out clearly, and I think they kind of need to be. You need to know what your role is and what you're responsible for, and you need to know what I'm handling and responsible for, so that it all moves smoothly and we're not duplicating services. So, that's kind of what that's about. And that's just more on that. So that's all I have on that. I did, and speaking with Richard, I've got some things here I pulled off from our new boards and commissions software. If anyone wants a copy, these are all of your appointed people or people that are on there by their title on all of your county boards, along with their term expiration dates and who appoints them.
I know the alcohol board, are we pretty much caught up with everybody, all the boards?
We
as
will
far as
be
in-
when you appoint, which I have their resumes with me, Commissioner Tharp.
We'll get to that too,
Yeah.
but we've also had some other board appointments. I know we've had submitted for a couple more besides the alcohol board right now.
Bridge. was
Bridge
one,
Health
but-
is one, and there was one more.
Is there a way I can connect to that?
So there's three, I think, right now that are ready to, interviews are going on, which is great, but we've got three, I think. And Melissa, I guess for me, board appointment wise going forward, and y'all tell me if you came to a work session that said, hey, next month, we've got this board appointment coming up and I'm gonna advertise for it, we would just kind of know ahead of time. I mean, that's just something. And then once that goes out, then obviously we're gonna talk about it, hey, here's how many applications we've got, and what do we wanna do as far as interviews or whatever. And I appreciate y'all letting me do interviews. I know that's something that, Chuck and everybody's participated in, and I appreciate going that new direction because the citizens seem to really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's amazing, Granicus, that now that we're starting to get everything on, it's helped. Before, we spent a solid year just people trying to tell us, because they didn't want to.
Yeah.
We'd call the boards and say, hey, you're lacking or whatever, and it's like they were in their own little field, they didn't want nobody else.
And the very last page of your book in section 12 is what Melissa made, that's all the terms expiring this year.
Okay.
The very last page of the book.
Yeah, Richard, that was a true adjustment, so now it's finally getting everything on there where they can't kind of run from it.
And
Sure, yeah.
on that now we kind of launched both Granicus 2 softwares at the same time, Open Records and Boards and Commissions. I was trying to focus more on Boards and Commissions and not as much on Open Records, but I had to step in and start doing a lot of things with the Open Records and figuring different things out. So now I'm starting to dive back into Boards and Commissions, which I think with this alcohol board, you should have all got emails every time a new applicant applied.
Yes.
I hope. Cause I've said it
I'm
that
still
way.
getting applicants saying, I
Yes.
appreciate my applying where you use me as a
Yeah.
case study.
Yes,
Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
I got 5 today thanking me for my
Yeah.
application
I
too.
get it.
And then we don't show bridge on here.
No, but Bridge is on here, and there was one more,
We've
Miss
had-
Leslie,
Samantha.
applied, yes, and so, and I forget the name of that board, but she's trying to find it, but that was an open board position also, and then that would have us current.
I just love him in
That would have us current. And then we don't have anything till June, so that's good, you know, now we can kind of reset, like she said, we kind of go forward with it.
And this is like from the admin side, the new boards and commission software. So as soon as you go in, and I'm logged in under Dan, but you can see how many active boards, and when it says missing information, when this is set up, which I would like to eventually be able to pull, you can put a copy on the board details of their enacting resolution. So where we created the alcohol board, the resolution could go there, or the
Or if they
planning
have
commission.
problems.
Yes, so that's,
You could see if they had to have a vice chair, or if they had to have.
yes, it'd be all right in there.
That's awesome.
That's good.
But that's the next step of having to pull all that research and put it in there. But
Building
we will get there. That's what I'd like to see. So, because how many times you wanna know, well, how was that created? Did it say in the resolution? We can just log in and look at it right there. And a citizen can see the enacting resolution from the citizen side as well. We have currently 82 total seats. 73 are filled, and it says 9 are open, but some of those are ones that you don't fill.
5 are directly with us right now, the
Yes.
3 alcohol board and the other 2 that we're talking
Yes.
about.
This is how many recent submitted applications we have.
That's
Yeah.
no joke. And that, that speaks to a couple things. I think John putting them out on social media has really helped bring awareness to it, and the new software. And one of the things I'm talking to all the applicants about, and they really like too, is they can leave it on file, and they can go in there and check any board that they're interested in, and when that board comes up, they'll just get notified. That's amazing.
I got an email when somebody applied for the EDA board, when I guess they
Yes,
applied for
because
that board. That
that's,
was so nice.
yes.
And it showed me all the boards that that person had applied for. That was
Mhm.
nice.
Because it has under each board, like say we go to, let's find a board.
We've
Let's
got,
go, since Megan mentioned.
we've got
hers.
a book of folks that are just wanting to serve at some point now. And that's just something I didn't see when I first came on, is we didn't have as many of that. We've got, I mean,
At the
it's
city of Ringo,
sharp.
you had those top people.
Yeah, no, and right now, and I had one who was like 22 years old yesterday, right? So I mean, it just runs the gambit. I mean,
Well, yeah.
you got more people that are wanting to do it. It's great.
I mean, it'd be
Oh,
tech
you're-
savvy.
On what you
Yes.
interviewed,
You
Joe,
tell you.
has any of them said why, I mean, what made them go out and want to apply, or?
First question I asked them, what in the world made you want to apply for the alcohol board? And every one of them just like, well, I don't know, I just really trying to find something to get in and try to serve the community is basically the number one answer. It wasn't,
Absolutely.
that I think there's partying going on in the back room somewhere. It was just the one, I guess, as we've gotten better with the new system and John's gotten, where he's advertising it more, it's just more people are aware.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, man, these boards, we've got citizens just dying to serve on boards.
And from the years of appointing boards and getting applications and resumes, here, I'd say the last year, the applicants have been, we have some very impressive people
You've seen them coming in the door,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck and I were sitting there like, man, this person could actually run this department,
Well,
not
yeah.
even a
Yeah.
board. I
It
mean,
used
it's
to,
just
if you got
amazing.
if you got a 2-sentence
Yes,
letter
that's typically.
saying,
what we
I'd
got.
like to serve on the board, that's about all you got.
Mhm.
At least this, you get a little more
We used to
information.
just check a pulse and see if they had a pulse, maybe you pass.
Well,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's,
no kidding,
Yeah.
5-6 years ago, we would have to go way beyond the expiration time and leave somebody on a board,
Yeah.
just get enough
Yeah.
people.
we've had some open 6 months or so, trying to get somebody to,
Well, that's how we got where we're posting till field.
yeah.
And now when I told Melissa, when I start putting a deadline on it.
We do.
Because we don't need to have it.
Oh, yeah.
And
We are
we'll
very
get it.
different.
Well, we've got such a database now of people that
Yes.
are automatically coming. It's,
He might have his office back.
Well, you put in
I just
the, like,
use Chuck's and Jeff's. It
if
worked out
y'all
very
are
well.
appointing people on Tuesday to the alcohol board and somebody throws in their application because it says post until filled on Monday night or Tuesday morning.
We had that here.
And they didn't get an interview, then they're gonna be upset because everybody else got interviews, so it does need to have a cutoff date.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does now. I mean, I knew why y'all had it in the past. It made sense. But
Now, since people are,
oh, we've got a database of probably 60 people,
So we don't even need
at
applications.
least,
We've got it.
and it
Yeah.
grows every time we post for a
Well,
new board.
it showed up there, yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
This shows kind of like what Megan was saying. So every one of these, and this will speak back to having those boards centralized, because Megan saw the email that she had an expiration term coming up. All of those other board members are also listed here and should be getting that same email prior to the expiration of their terms. So I'm not sure what's been, I did, because y'all and myself was supposed to getting those as well, but when I looked into the system, the department heads or whoever was over the board is listed there getting it, but we were not, so I've added that. So, and I put it to notify all 5 board members, me, Candy, and Dan, 30 days prior to the expiration of a term. So
That's
we
good.
should start getting those as well.
because we've seen that where they didn't know their term was even up, and they found out because they saw it advertised. So I mean, that's good.
And like I say, it has been notifying whoever is listed as the contact, like she got hurt. So that's another reason I think if it were centralized, then we're handling that a little bit
Well,
better,
even
because they're busy.
is there
They're
one
not-
person
Yeah, it
in
takes
charge.
that- It takes that off of me.
Is there any
Yes.
way to add John?
Mhm.
So that he
Yeah.
could get
Yes.
the notice
Yes.
out at the right time, so.
Yeah.
And
Because
maybe
we
whoever's
wanna get
over
money
that
out of
board could even say Megan seen it, and then, I know we had one on the PF.
No,
Anyway,
listen,
you might know,
it's-
hey, I was just gonna make sure you seen this, you need to, if you wanna reapply, you need to reapply.
Right, and typically, I'll tell them, like, I have it set for the EDA as a calendar
Yeah.
reminder for myself, but that just makes, I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Just makes
Well,
it
listen,
much
one of the
easier.
things too that y'all can do, if you don't mind, as you're transitioning them to meet at our place and the clerks are doing the minutes, maybe updating all the board members that are on the boards and making sure all their emails and contact
Mhm.
information is correct.
Yes,
And that way, if it's an old email and that's why they weren't getting it, then you're gonna be right there at the board meeting anyway, you or Candy. That'd be a great opportunity to update all that
Yes.
information with them.
and I think keeping up with, you see this right here, attendance,
Yes,
would be very
That's
good
nice.
to be able to have in this system, because if you have a board member who's replying a board, yet they only attended 2 of those board meetings out of
for the
12
whole
that
year.
were
Yeah,
held.
that's
Maybe
great.
you need to know that to reconsider.
Some-
whether you want-
some boards- Some boards,
Yes.
yeah,
That is the one.
specified that you must attend this meeting.
Oh, that's wrong.
Is there a way for me?
Well, it's probably in the bylaws.
There's no power.
I want to be able to
That's
go
what
back.
Yeah,
that's what I can-
Because I'd like to see what you can from your standpoint, because I can access it, but I'd love to see from.
Because I think this is great. Once it's all.
And I mean, you can run documents, we can run reports on here.
We're leaps and bounds in the
Yes.
year I've been on the board as far
Oh
as
my goodness.
board appointments and
And you
this
can
software, I
see-
mean, it's just night and day.
This shows you, look, most of ours, now I would like to have this changed, and that's probably more of a legal question, where all of our terms expire here
Gonna be busy in
instead
November
of
and
here
December.
and here, personally.
I thought it was kind of funny that we had 3 come up at the same time on the alcohol board. I mean, I know as
That's
Board of
because
Commissioners,
2
we
of
have
them
3 in
came
one
up
cycle,
last
2 in
year
another,
for
but,
this.
Well,
That's fine.
and I think,
Yes.
Melissa, I think on that, I think we discussed here a couple of years ago, is
Mhm.
waiting till January
Yes.
to do them versus in December. That way, every other year we got a board, and we could have a board change. And then that way, we're not appointing somebody, and then the
That's a
next
great
month,
point,
somebody's coming
Oh,
on.
Well,
that's a
it's
great
happened in the
point.
past.
on the way out the door, I get somebody on the board.
That is
Yeah,
exactly
that's
I'll
what
fix you.
happened.
fantastic. Yeah.
And then we
did
have
that.
to disband the
Uh-huh.
board and reestablish the board and reappoint the new board's members versus the old. Yes.
So these, so these December 20, or December 31st ones, I mean, you know, just push them over a week or something like, I mean, never let their term expire.
To the first meeting.
And then to the first meeting and then reset that where it won't be
Yeah.
December 31st the
But-
following time.
Because the way I understand it, it's not like you don't have a board, it's until.
They serve until their successor is appointed.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
even though a term may expire in
Right.
January, it's not like you couldn't conduct business on into January. So
But we just changed it.
that's generally been the practice if you have an election cycle.
We've always pushed.
Matter of courtesy, you generally say, we'll wait till January to see who commissioners are gonna be and allow them to.
Hey, you remember saying that?
And,
I ain't
and for
gonna
the
leave
planning
that.
commission, I mean, there's not gonna be any business until the end of that January anyway, so there's not.
Right, they don't have a December meeting most of the time on the planning board, right, so, it's gonna be, yes. We can get in there and do that, right, before the first one on
Or January.
Yeah.
And on here, if you see, like, this is showing us, this one has vacancies, the Board of Equalization has vacancies, but we don't take the applications. So I fixed this past week where we don't get applications for ones that y'all don't appoint.
Yeah, 'cause we don't wanna be.
But they're still listed on here in case you wanna know who's on the board.
Yeah, is it that north, that's the one right
It's
there, no, come down, the north, that one, I think
Yes.
is the Northwest Georgia Regional,
This.
that's the one.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got an
that's the one.
application for that.
We do,
We
yeah,
have two
Y'all got
people.
an application for that?
yeah,
You realize that's the meeting in Rome that pays nothing.
Miss Leslie.
You have to drive there for free.
Yeah, she sent an
I know, I've been
application
down
in
there.
for that.
Well,
specifically.
and
But I know,
will-
but I mean, this is a big issue, I think, we've interviewed her, did it for our board appointment.
There
position
are,
that-
I will say there are big issues with getting in touch with whoever regionally handles this board. Because when Elsie Crooks and Michael Craig were appointed to this board,
Oh, that's
I
the mental
sent
health.
numerous emails trying to find out who handles it, where they do it. And then they came back and said they had meetings now by Zoom, but then they never sent either one of them the Zoom login or got in touch with them. So there's some things that need to be,
Yeah, we need information before we appoint somebody,
Yes.
so we know what to tell
and
them.
then
Yeah.
this, we do
Oh,
have,
that's
and
desperate,
they're very active, so we do
Yeah.
have an open seat here that we need to fill.
we do,
There's one open seat, yeah, and we've advertised that one,
And I think,
and you got it.
y'all just close your eyes real quick, please, because it's got personal information on it. Let me look real quick. Let's see, I just wanna see where she applied. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry.
there she is, right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she applied for that, I thought she also
November.
applied, so
She might have
that
checked
might
other
be one
boxes.
if we ask her.
And then right above it's that was the one that applied for the other.
Yeah,
Now there,
Or we could,
is Dan Scott still on the bridge?
no,
We've still got a open
oh,
seat.
he is, yes, he's up here, see, Dan Scott, he was reappointed.
Okay, he was real.
When they complete a term, even if they're reappointed, it's still gonna put, he completed a full term, and that's
We've
the
got
date,
one
and then here's
spot.
the new one.
and one applicant.
I was thinking of that other board, Melissa, but we still got an open seat on the regional commission.
Mm-hmm, we
Yeah,
do.
we got
And a
ten.
citizen seat,
That's what I was before.
oh, that's
I
right.
moved to Elected, so we've got open spot there.
Oh, which
That's
one?
Yeah.
The regional commission.
Oh, yeah.
Where DCA and everybody
And
else.
then find somebody that's willing to
Oh, y'all are
drive
good
to
now. I'm sorry.
Rome,
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Free.
carpool.
free, yeah.
Yeah. I do a lot of business between.
I'm sure you do, yeah.
Yeah, cause for years, Mark Fletcher was on there as the citizen after he gave up District One.
Now one, I have some questions about
Yeah.
some boards. Let's see, where's the 911, this board? The 911 advisory board, which is mainly, yes. However, those board meetings, should they still be advertised? Or, do you know, on E911? Or is that a protected because of,
Yeah, it may be protected based on that.
because I looked back at one time in 2011 or 2016, there were minutes posted on the website, but now there's not, and I don't know who handles,
How often do they meet?
so,
They're quarterly.
I'm not sure.
Like every week.
I didn't really-
I saw your name on there, Dan, so I
I'll
understand, I
look up
figured you may
Dan's
know, but I was just curious as to how often they meet.
Mhm. And then the same question with the Board of Health. Do we know if should they be advertised and the Board of Health?
Yeah, but it's-
We just.
When was the last time you went into that show?
We don't have any.
Okay,
Or
so
no.
we don't have to worry about,
So they have a monthly?
That's.
We don't do
Court
it
months
here,
or
quarterly,
what?
I believe.
That's the best board it is.
They'll feed you lunch, won't they?
It's usually good.
and on one of these.
We've got,
Gotta get some meals
so
on.
I'm on that board, and then we've got a citizen.
On the Board of Health,
On the Board of Health.
yes, that I think is the consumer advocate, right here. It's this
For-
one.
Every other month.
Yeah, every other month.
Yeah.
And I'm on the board.
911 board,
Yeah.
Megan says every other.
Every other month.
So if you'll just let me know if that's one we have to have.
I will.
Yeah.
You leave.
I get my thing for that. And I think that's everything on boards, yes.
What about the
wanted to-
LEPC? I mean, that's,
I don't really, I know,
I mean, that's
I used
emergency
to get
management
things
stuff.
about LEPC, but I don't anymore.
because it usually immediately follows the 911 board.
Mhm. And see, I haven't seen anything on that or that.
We had one this other week, huh?
Then you have family collaborative,
I don't have any.
which
Yeah.
really,
But
We
that's
meet
more
month, and
important.
I'm on that board, that's a monthly. JC does.
And then DFAX, we appoint everyone to that board, right?
Two defects, yes.
Is that one governed by us?
It's governed by state law.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that one. Okay,
Family collaborative is a school.
okay, got it.
That's it.
So
Summer
I
school.
think that all of
I know there's a physical agent, right?
let's see, okay. Now, if y'all wanna see an overview, or is there any other, y'all have any questions? Is there anything else you want me to show you or go over?
On,
Open records board, anything? I can. I was asking in between the break, I was asking about the BOC calendar where I put, like, there's ribbon cutting or something. I just went through and see it has I added you to it
I
because I
saw.
didn't see you on there. Can you see the calendar now?
So
Look
here's something I would
specifically
like
if
to
you
make a
see something that says
suggestion.
test.
the commission to think about. If a commissioner is gonna have a meeting pertaining to county business, I think it should go on a group calendar, a group Outlook calendar that would go through Melissa, where I could see, and this goes back to that meeting that I got a phone call on last time, right? I would have seen that on a group calendar, known that was happening. I think that would only help as a commission. We all would know that I could follow up if I saw Chuck had a meeting with such and such that was pertaining to county business. I could go back to Chuck and say, well, hey, kind of fill me in on that, Chuck, kind of thing, right? Catching something secondhand in the situation that I got caught in just wasn't a good situation. And I thought, well, a simple solution to me is just if we had a group Google calendar that if we're doing county business, meeting with somebody about something pertaining to the county, that we just put it to that calendar where all the other commissioners can see.
Well, in my defense, I'll let y'all know I was gonna have it. I told y'all ahead of time that I'd been to Atlanta, that I was scheduling, we were gonna schedule a meeting with all nine counties.
But I didn't know that meeting happened. I found out from Heather, is what I'm saying. And that's kind of stuff that just, I think as a commission, it doesn't make us look the way we need to look. And so I think a group Google calendar is something that we need to talk about, where that's all there. Just my
We already
thought.
got the calendar here.
I'm sorry?
I think that's what we've got the calendar.
But it's gotta be added. No, in other words, we gotta say, hey, this is,
I'm saying
it's gotta be added.
we've got the
Yeah,
calendar.
so I just, just a
Yeah.
suggestion I'd like to see.
Well, and if there's anything that, I know Stephen will send me things or Amy will send me things for ribbon cuttings and I'll put them on the calendar. If there's ever anything that y'all wanna just text me, hey, can you add this to the BOC calendar? And I'll put it on there. Or if you want me to go ahead and put all those ribbon cuttings or all the things we get, I just kinda need direction on what all do you wanna see on there, how much do you want just send me the things you want put on there, or how?
That's what we've gotta talk about as a board.
Okay, and y'all
And
can
we'll
just
do
let
that.
me know, you
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
however you want me to handle it, I can do it that way. Cause I'll get her calendar things, about ribbon cuttings or
And we get
the
that.
chamber gala or
Yeah.
this, and it's like, I don't wanna overkill y'all and putting
A lot of
all the
stuff she will
events you
send
get.
us, and then you'll send
Yes.
us, and we'll have it
So-
2 or 3
I
times.
think it helps to me better versus, because I mean, if she sends it, it might be 3 or 4 days ahead of time, but I try to about every day or two, just look at my calendar and see.
Mhm.
See
You're
what's
saying
on
if it was
there.
on the Google
Yeah, if it's on
Calendar,
the
it'd help.
calendar.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that either. I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
the way, I just laid it out the way I was thinking. I mean, that just helps me. I can look and see if there's a
Yeah.
meeting or something, you know, well, I need to follow back up on that, just ask questions, or I might want to attend.
Well, that's the problem. And I don't mean that negatively. We can't all attend.
No, and I get
We can
that.
only two people be in a meeting to handle county business or we're breaking the sunshine law.
Correct.
Unless it's an advertised meeting.
That's right.
So that's why as chair, I've always been able to pick one, or, you know, and most time it's vice chair, but in this case, since Jeff was on the health board, Chuck was on the health board, that's why I asked him to be a part of that, because I had DPH there, the Department of Public, whatever the initials are. So we have to be careful, because we cannot break the sunshine law,
I get
because
that.
that is, so it's gotta be.
But if I'd have known that meeting happened, I could have followed up with you two, one of you, and said, hey, kind of give me a lowdown on that, right?
Well, and I do every time before we have a meeting. I try very hard to communicate on everything I do. That's why I said earlier, prior to that we were gonna have that meeting.
Well, if, just a suggestion is if we're gonna do it that way, I can put Stephen and which commissioner is
That's
on there
fine.
as
I
invited
just-
guest, and
I
then
just do not
if you
wanna
look
get
at it and
in a
see who's
spot
there. Well,
that
these
we
two are
have.
already here,
I
so.
think all of us have enough sense not to show up and break sunshine law.
Well, we had three. We had three.
But I was, but my name was on that.
So we have to be careful. So the last thing I wanna do is to do anything that could be misconstrued as an issue.
Which you can, if it's just a facts finding, I think. I mean, it's,
Well,
we don't have to.
But it's
There are
here,
certain things, yeah.
certain.
Yeah, certain things. But I think what you're saying is I think it was simultaneously that you got a call.
Oh,
I mean,
We got a
when
text
y'all
from
say-
somebody that's mad that she wasn't invited.
Yeah.
and that's not my
Yeah.
place of why she was or wasn't, and that's why I said that was your conversation to have with her, because you had valid reasons that situation, that's fine. I just didn't like finding out that way, right, at that time, I mean, it was, but anyway, so I just think a group Google Calendar helps us
Okay.
flow better, just
And
my,
that's also where y'all all have access, and I didn't mean to get into any heated stuff, so just,
Oh,
I'm just asking.
this is
for
why we
answers.
come here.
But
This
I
is
wanted to
it.
lead into, I have a calendar on there which y'all have access to, so if I put down a PTO day, I put on that calendar, I think Dan has, everybody has access. Does that work for y'all, or would you rather me send you a message and say, hey, I'm gonna be out of the office on PTO these days? Or is the calendar working okay for that?
I don't see the calendar on
You don't
your
see-
PTO days. I don't.
And see, it should be,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
get-
got
I'm hoping
all
now
the-
I do,
Yeah.
right, because you invited me, but
I
before
get baseball practices.
You get baseball.
I get your whole
I will
calendar.
try not to put the baseball practice.
Beauty shot.
I don't see it.
You're probably sharing your,
I thought I was sharing.
Hopefully you're not
if you're
sharing
sharing
this out,
your
okay.
calendar, then that's probably where he sees that other stuff.
Yeah, say where you went Chick-fil-A.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't go to Chick-fil-A,
That's
so.
why Jeff is tracking you.
Yeah.
You have shared your location.
Yeah.
He's texting you guys, 'cause
Well,
you're on
I'll look
260.
at it and then I'll change
So
those
that's-
settings. If that
yeah.
works okay for
No,
y'all,
that's
then you can go on there and see, oh, Melissa's out on PTO, or, oh, you know, that way anything where I'm out or appointments will be on there and you can kind of see it that way, if that works.
And if you've got the calendar, if you don't have that turned on,
Yeah, you have to
know,
make sure you have that calendar.
I've got so many calendars,
Me
and
too.
sometimes I turn them off because I can't see my calendar.
Mhm.
Last Monday, Becky didn't have any school.
No, he didn't. Yeah, I did put that on there. Sorry.
See, I don't-
I don't get that.
Neither
I'm not
did
advised
Bishop.
of all this.
It's got the.
I figured out the
We may
out
need to
school
look
dates
at
off
your
Rachel's
calendar.
calendar for Bishop.
So it's got the BOC, this retreats on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it does, Friday the
Planning,
13th,
zoning,
back
there
at
was
no
a
school,
23rd.
so yeah, I'm
Yes.
getting those now,
Okay,
so
good.
we're
Yeah,
good,
you're
I'm synced,
welcome.
I'm synced.
Yeah, yeah, on,
And hey, the
Why
dinner
don't you put
concert, I wasn't invited with Gareth, but I mean, them, but I mean, we can
Oh, I
go,
don't know
so.
about that one.
What did you say those doctor visits?
Oh, never mind, that's
What
different.
it's
I was
all
gonna say, I
about.
don't know.
December 29th.
No school, no school, no school, so I, hey, I got
Unless a
that.
PTO out of office
But,
yeah.
from the
Just
29th
something
to
to-
the 5th.
That's good, yeah.
Okay, that works, good.
You need to check,
Um,
check.
Yeah, I'll look and
He
see.
may have it turned off.
I bet it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
Don't ignore it.
You should see all the calendars you have access to over there, and mine will say Melissa And you just make sure you have them clicked so you can see.
We started the calendars years ago
Yeah.
because we had one commissioner's wife that got mad because she was missing
Mm-hmm.
some events. And so we had to start the calendar and make sure everybody had the calendar, was getting invited to where everybody would have it on their phone.
But I do think
But you gotta check your
Google
phone.
does some weird things sometimes, and all of a sudden
Yeah,
everybody that was on there
I had
isn't on
trouble.
there.
Yeah.
Or it changes Jeff's to a different time
Yeah.
zone.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I
Yes.
was on California down there.
I get messages on your channel.
Well, sometimes that's.
Of course, if I'm ever off on PTO, I mean it 150,000%. Don't hesitate to text me or call me. That's why I'm hourly. I mean, the salary, I'm not hourly, Lord.
That's the third time you wanna be ours.
No, I do not. Well, I probably make more money that way, so maybe I do. But, yeah. Because I'd rather know about it ahead of time, and I always have my Surface Pro with me.
Well,
So,
like I sent you
yeah.
something, and you're like, well, I'm like, we can wait. But if I don't send it right then to you, I'll
Yes.
forget.
Sure.
So I'm like, hey, I need,
Same
when
way
you,
here.
you know, and so just I send it, but I'm not asking for it that day.
Yeah, but I did know the answer.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but I'm
so-
just saying, that's just my
Yeah.
ADHD, right? I gotta send it right then, or I'm on the 5 other
And
things, so.
I'm kind of that
Send
same way. So if I ever don't respond, send me another message and say, hey, have you got the answer yet? Because it probably means I've gotten distracted and, or I've typed it out and I forgot to hit send. Yeah.
I appreciate all you're doing. Listen,
Yeah.
you know, I asked you for some stuff a while back. I forget what it was, and it was all the way back in like '02. We didn't have any of those records, right? And so I appreciate what y'all are doing. You know, 20 years from now, the next board of commissioners and clerk, they'll have all this information where they can go back and see what happened. That's what we need. And that's why these minutes for these boards are so important.
Yes. There's nothing worse than when I receive an open record request or department head asking and they're like, do you have it? I'm like, well, what year was it? And if it's before 2006, 2007, I'm like, well, we may be in trouble.
Yeah, that's all.
One, it may be here, but
Fine.
finding it is going to be near impossible. So I'm hoping that whenever I'm gone, whoever comes in, they'll be able to see it. It's why I structure the minutes the way I do. I want the items to stand out, the motion to stand out, so you don't have to flip and read 10 pages of minutes just to find out if one thing was in there and took place. So, let's see. So we went over that. If you just want to see, which we've talked about, this is the GovQA open records process. You can kind of see right here if I go to all of our requests right there. I'm logging in under Dan, so it's just gonna show ones, but I have been putting Dan, and I've asked Candy when she gets one, to put me and Dan both in as follows, at least for the time being with Dan, because he can kind of see if there's some department heads that aren't responding as quickly. He's reached out and it's really helped, so hopefully that'll fix itself and then Dan won't have to get all the emails that he's been getting, but it keeps him in the loop as
I
well.
think you getting something, what's gotta be done will help a lot with.
Yeah, it helps both of us
Yeah.
to manage,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and because a lot of times you've got a director and they may have put it, delegated it to
Yes.
someone else, and then they're not even aware that it's not getting
Like there in
fulfilled.
December when y'all, it was there, but it got closed out, so the people wasn't getting it, but the information was there, but it just didn't get through.
Yes, so it's kind of helped having that extra set of eyes on it.
But again, you've got a lot of people, even people that work for us, that they may not be aware
Yeah.
of all, so we've got a lot of training.
Yes, and that's what with Laura's new lunch and learns, it's like, I know I get off topic and I'll go down into different avenues, like
We
chasing
might have
white
to break
rabbits.
it up into.
So I may have to
have.
have somebody there that Rachel would be a good one, yes. She
Dan
works
would
well
know
in that area.
about chasing
Yes,
rabbits.
so, to stay on top,
Rachel
but it
said
is
speak
things
up.
that I think need to be reinforced, explained, and let everybody know they can ask. So, but if you look at this, what is interesting, and I can't pull the report on Dan's, but
So I
the
don't have
amount,
keys to the
I
kingdom.
thought you did, but it's only showing, I think it's cause you haven't added it to your
Turned
dashboard.
you off.
Well, maybe you can. if you, let's see, can you pull reports?
You're gonna get my wallet.
What is Trenton need?
Huh?
What is Trenton need?
Who?
Never mind.
Who's Trent?
It was on the previous page of requests that are, that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can go back to it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Trent Scott? Oh, there it is, there's no talent. He's went kind of off the deep end. Isn't that the one? See, here we go, let's go. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what you get when you put names on the.
Don't feed the bear,
apologize.
Chad, don't
I
feed the bear.
apologize.
Man, take your
Okay.
computer back over.
Well, we're moving on here.
I apologize. Let's see if I can do this.
Check their
What
computer.
time's it get dark?
It's only a test.
Not early. Don't give me, don't do that on purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
Who go first?
Let's see. All right. Oh, and like they're crazy. Who? Who else?
But
You
no
can listen to it
fun
for
here.
2 hours.
Stop it. No fun.
All fun.
However, I will say, I do think ADHD is helpful for being a clerk for county government because I have to know all different things and many things juggling all at the same time. This is what I found very interesting, is this is the county side of open record. Here's your sheriff's office. We get a high volume compared to your sheriff's office of open records. And if you look here, this shows we have closed 98.89% of all requests, and we currently, and I think we only have 1 or 2 open at this time. So the system is working very well.
And that's one, I mean, you hear from public a lot of times, I never have heard, and this system don't lie. I mean, it's backed up and.
Yes, because there's been times where somebody said, oh, I didn't get my
I never
request,
did,
or I
yeah.
didn't get the documents. Well, I can go into the audit side of this, and I can follow the history of that request, and I can see every single time somebody logged in. I can see when they opened it. I can see when they looked at it, the exact time, how many times. All of that's in that audit history of
Same with
every
our
single
iWorks and
request.
everything. Any,
Yes,
if somebody deleted something, it'll,
it's
You-
still there.
the
It'll show me
history's
when it was
there
deleted.
of who
Yes.
did it and when.
Which is really
Yeah.
good. It's something we didn't have before. I mean, when I started in the clerk's office, we did all this by paper. Board appointments were done by paper. Building rentals were in a binder and were written on by paper, and people double booked, and citizens collected the money, and lots of money on the busiest precincts never came in. So we have come a long ways, and we have even further ways we can go and improve moving forward. So that's pretty much everything, unless I missed something, unless anybody's got a question.
Let's figure it out on your part.
I'll stop, I can tell you already tuned
No,
out. I saw you
no,
over there.
when do you wanna talk about agenda? You wanna do that now, or when do you got that on?
Oh,
your
yes, agenda.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
We need to do it
Yeah,
now.
go ahead.
I think we
You want
talked
back
a little
over
bit
here?
about it, but we need to set.
Yes,
when
that's part of the policy.
Okay. Yeah,
We need a deadline
we need
for,
a clear
yes.
deadline for turning the agenda, so.
and I'd like to have it written out, something y'all have approved, that if they
Make it
don't
part
have
of
their
their,
stuff in by this date, then your item doesn't go on. So I
Probably
have,
in the rules of procedure, you know,
Yes.
because it sets forth the agenda format.
Mhm. That way, if I'm sitting here, it's 6 o'clock on a Friday, but this person isn't responding to them, they haven't uploaded all their documentation. I'm kinda, especially if it's an elected official's office, I'm gonna, if it's a department that's under Dan, then Dan tells me to remove it. But if it's not that, I'm stuck
It's a
sitting
quandary.
here. So if we had a policy in place that said, if you don't have it here by this date with your updated things and it's not gone through the approval process, it gets pulled.
I know
And then
for,
you have to come to the meeting if you still need it on there, and at the agenda setting meeting time, approach and explain why you need it on there.
like
And
4,
why you
5,
didn't have
6
it.
years ago, something like that, I guess it was. I think we'd verbally did it with the managers at the time and all, but it was like a Tuesday, because you've got a process to where if they turned it in, say on Tuesday by 4:30, then the county manager, finance director, I mean, you got that project, they've got to approve it, verify it, and sign off on it, then it's gotta go to legal staff, and then that way, say by Thursday evening at 4:30, everybody should be able to do it. And that's why I think we said at the time, 4:30 on Tuesday,
Well, what
to
we
give
did-
time to
Yeah.
where you got it Friday morning.
And it does go through that. They enter it on Granicus, then they initialize their workflow, which it goes to Rachel first, and she verifies and approves it based on the finance side. Then it goes to Chad, and I think Chris has viewing access, because I can't
Viewing
give two
only.
people. Well, it won't let me, if I put it, then you both have to sign off on it, which can be,
No, but I mean,
so,
to avoid that,
yes.
I give him my login
Yeah.
to Granicus, and if for some reason I'm out, he can go ahead.
So they need time to review it and read it
So it
after
all
Rachel
sort of
checked
changed
it.
while I was gone.
Then it
We
goes
used to
to
have
Dan.
an agenda setting meeting, and that forced them to bring their stuff on Tuesday to the meeting. I love the Granicus, and I love the fact we don't have that meeting, but we still need to leave Tuesday as the deadline. Because they took advantage of the fact that they're
I
not having to
can,
stand in
but-
front of us.
We don't.
Yeah.
And
That sort of brings up this next slide I had up here, and I've asked Chad to go sort of through this procedure so y'all can, I think it's good to refresh once a year, once every other year. But on page 18, behind tab 2,
And these haven't been
update.
revised and updated.
And it talks about, what about 4 or 5 lines down, shall be received in the office of the clerk by noon on Friday.
We need to check that.
I mean, we can't operate like that anymore.
No, because that doesn't give them time to look at it. Then you
I
have
think
something on the
2016
agenda
was the
that's
last
not
time
been
we
vetted.
approved, because we used to have a morning meeting and a night.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you changed the rules of procedure to know all of our meetings are evening meetings, but to echo what Dan and Melissa say and to hear what the commissioner, what we're trying to address, I would encourage all the commissioners to review what your rules of procedure say that we're doing, and let's figure out what we want to do. Well, let's update our rules of procedure to make them match. 'Cause, you know, like Melissa will tell you, technically, you don't have to have the agenda out until 24 hours before the meeting, which is usually Monday, but that's not really fair to the board, it's not fair to citizens. So we need that time, and we need to get it done by Friday, but there probably does need to be a hard deadline, because Granicus is great, but on that workflow, it throws up
Yes,
and if
that's
Rachel
all.
doesn't do her,
Yeah.
It
meeting,
hasn't
Melissa
gone
doesn't
in.
go in, it didn't come into me unless you, or somebody with
Skip
your
her,
access can go
yeah.
bypass it. So it would be, because I know it all gets, I know we all love getting, you probably get them too, 25 Granicus notifications at 4:00 on a Friday that says, hey, there's 25 new items for you to review.
Yes.
And you're sitting there waiting because you need it to get it out.
And the
So-
thing is, once everybody's approved it, I still
You still have
have
to
45
put the
minutes to an hour of making sure everything's lined up. I rearrange because they just get placed in there based on who submitted first. So I try to put, if this person has 3 items, I move it around, then I have to generate. If there's an issue with an attachment, I gotta figure that out. So you say 45 minutes to an hour and a half after everything's approved, before I actually even send it out and publish it.
But then the other problem is we're not saying it to you publish.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yes.
But y'all do have access, right, while
To
we're
the
building
building.
it, while we're building it. And what I've been doing is I've been going to the actual agenda underneath
That's
it.
Yes.
And then I'll pull up all the items that's out there,
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of see what's out there.
because if I wait till it hits me, and I'm like, oh no, we've gotta have another whatever, there's not enough time.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and then we
allows
do
you
those
to-
comments, which is great, I
That's
think.
great.
Because it reaches right back out to say the fire chief and say, hey, Daniel, I think you should have, you left off a quote, or you left off some information there.
And
Gives
you
them
got the
time.
ability to catch stuff like, well, even when you sent me that, Josh could get so far on the CTI
Right,
thing about the traffic signal. He
But he didn't know the background.
But I was able to go in the agenda part and pull that up and edit it and then start the workflow.
Right.
And I know in the past, when we did have the Tuesday, a lot of times you'd have people, you'll come on Thursday, this is emergency, it really wasn't an emergency, but I think that's where it comes down, if they work for you,
Sure.
as you make that determine, no, it's gonna wait 2 weeks, this is really an emergency to come on, you missed the deadline.
The biggest offender are elected officials.
Yeah, oh,
That
yeah.
is the biggest offender, so
Yeah.
that's why if we need to handle it in a
Yeah,
board
if we have
meeting,
something set.
where
in
it's
place.
elected to elected and it's done.
And they
You
gotta-
can either remove it or take it, or put it on
Yeah,
at the board meeting.
That's right,
You have
they
to.
can come and ask, you
Yeah.
know, please put this on, I didn't have my stuff. together.
One question I have for you is, can the commissioners comment on those items?
I
we're
don't
just view
think
only.
so. I think it's view only.
Okay.
I could look and see if there's a way they could comment.
Well,
I'd
please,
say
please
there
reach out to
is,
us if there's
yeah.
something that, you see that, you know, hey, what about this, or what about that?
I've not tried it. We'll
I'm
have to
fine
try
with that.
that.
We need to reestablish all this. It's like it even says vice chair's 1-year term, right? And we've changed that
Yeah, we
since.
changed that.
So there's things that need to be revised on
And, you
here.
know, there's been talk back and forth about whether we wanted to include a consent agenda
Yes.
portion. And I don't know if that's something the board's interested in or not. I'm not advocating one way or the other, but if it is, we could incorporate that in.
Mhm. And that we're unusual in that we give them up until the Friday before and adding agenda items. Walker County, I think it was, their clerk told me they have to submit and have all their stuff to the clerk's office and by 2 weeks ahead of time or something crazy.
Right.
And then they only have a month.
which they only have
Yes.
1 month meeting.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
So,
But you
I-
can
I'm like-
imagine how large that meeting might be,
Mhm.
right?
Correct. But with to Stephen's point, I'm fine with putting that hard deadline and you want too. I mean, we need to put it out there and we need to stand by for
Oh,
everybody.
sure, yeah.
To follow the chain where everybody has ample amount of time and the agenda gets put out on the Friday, not the Monday. So everybody, citizens included, have plenty of time. So I'm
I know
fine
there've
with
been many times, Melissa would be working at 7 o'clock trying to get the agenda
Yeah.
advertised to the media and all
The
that.
last meeting.
Because-
matter of fact.
and that kinda, y'all would have Monday to
Maybe
call a
5:20
department head or
elections
ask
in
some
a text out
questions,
about
but
it.
if it all gets in there before then and everybody's approved it, I can publish it and it's out ahead of time where you can, you know, you'd have all day if somebody wanted to call and ask or whatever.
And if
Gives you
something
an
the board doesn't
additional day.
want, then that's why you have the agenda set.
Yes.
Or something we learned between approving it versus two. You know, there's always an issue.
I got mine in there, so
Same zero.
you can have mine.
Yes.
Your feelings are
Is that, would it be, and I don't know how to write this, but would I be able to become a signer on the agenda items?
If, I mean, I can put in we both have to sign it, but yes, I think that's how it worked that time when Dan was out and I had Megan, wasn't it making both of you sign?
It was.
Yes, it
was.
Okay,
for-
so it can do it, yeah.
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
that for me.
You may get a phone call from me, hey, you gotta
You
sign.
may get one for me.
Yeah. I may be throwing this policy right back at you.
No, and not that I.
Yes,
it
I'm
just-
joking. I
It
know
honestly
it's-
makes me look at it harder,
Yes.
and then if I have questions for the board, I can call and say, you know, but sometimes there's a timing issue, and whether or not something needs to go on or not, which you and Dan are both, you are really good at that.
And y'all should have access to all of these Granicus things where you can go in, you can look at it. If you don't, when I get back next week, I'll make sure that you all have, and if you have any trouble logging into it, or you need me to reset a password,
I can't find my
I can
phone.
take care of it.
I think it's broke.
Is it not working again?
I get Dave with Granicus and Richard's applications every 30 seconds. It's- It
We've got a bunch of them. That's a good thing.
is a good thing.
Well, you got anything else, Melissa?
No, I think that's everything. Think we're
Rachel,
good?
you got anything else on your mind?
I don't think so.
Anybody got something for these ladies before we,
Y'all have a safe trip.
before we go have a safe trip?
How's Jason?
He's okay. I think he's gotten sick from one of our children. He's been out today and yesterday. and my child is going back to the doctor. That's why I'm sorry, that's why I left a couple of times.
It shows all, but it shows all of them.
I'm getting loaded up, get on the road. See, I'm getting off the back.
Yeah, get back. Get off that.
When I was up there with the hospital.
Hey, y'all get out of here.
This year,
I'm sorry?
because we did a lot of interest
Did it on both
Sewer
sides of
power.
it.
left
Stormwater
there.
around.
Did y'all?
Oh, way
Well,
out.
doesn't it snow?
Way out, it's pretty late.
We have rain. I had to drive through the rain.
Do you want me to leave those, alcohol board fee? Okay.
Please,
All right,
I'll bring them back to you.
if y'all are okay, let's take a 5 or 6, maybe, let's take 7.5 minutes.
Oh, my word.
Anyway, we got no
What about
money, go.
7:45.
Do you want them?
Yeah.
Are you gonna?
Work, whatever, please. Take 5 minutes back. I'm ready today, 30.
I got managed to make my life better remote. I'm really good. I'm good at this person.
There's no.
What is their job?
Don't tell Dan.
I'm sorry.
Rachel?
Oh.
Mediocre job,
I
right?
kind of know
Okay.
yours just has so many numbers.
Y'all need help carrying anything?
Any numbers.
Oh, I know.
She did, she talked about the percentage of the sheriff's over there.
That's good.
Is there priority?
Melissa, Rachel, y'all need help carrying anything?
I don't think so.
I can't.
Do you need help carrying anything? No, I think I got it. I'm just taking off this one.
Yeah, you can have it where I can bring it back.
Y'all screw this set.
Are you taking your, you're
I
taking
don't want to
your
get up
new
in the
contract?
field and come back with my butt in my
I'm telling
leg.
you,